Talk of sales promotion. I hope you will recall that we have already talked about sales promotion. Can you recall where we have talked about it? Huh? Where we have talked and discussed about sales promotion and what it is. If you can very quickly tell me. Very quickly. Huh? Yes, Vivek. Psychological pricing. Okay, so not exactly. Yes. Anything which is done to increase the sales of any product in the short term is referred to as sales promotion, right? So let us talk about it, and when we will discuss it, maybe you will recall it. Now, this is how sales promotion is defined. You can see it is a direct inducement which offers an extra value incentive for the product uh, to the sales force, distributors, or to the ultimate consumer with the primary objective of creating an immediate sales. So, if you would look at the primary aspects of this definition, you would realize that it basically deals about increasing the immediate sales. So, whatever you do so that your sales can be increased. Now, one more thing which is very categorically highlighted in this definition is that it is not only for consumers, ultimate consumers. The sales promotion can be for other people also. So in this definition, it actually encompasses the sales force also, the distributors also, it can be retailers also. So maybe you as a company can give some discounts to the retailers so that they push your product to the consumer, because we know the power of retailer, and we will discuss the role which a retailer can potentially play in reaching or in delivering your product to the consumer's hand. So whatever method that you adopt, or all those activities which could potentially increase the sales of the product, that would actually come under the sales promotion, right? So sales promotion, as the name itself suggests, so sales we understand, right? It is an activity which is actually exchanging a product, right, with the consumer in exchange of money. That is your sales. Promotion is you promoting it. So you are promoting the sales, right? And all those activities which are promoting the sales would come under sales promotion. Now, one thing that is to be kept in mind is that it actually talks of immediate sales, and it is a short term activity. So conceptually, we say that the sales promotion should not be run for a very long period of time. It should not be the case that you today offers a discount and then you keep that discount on for a very longer duration. And we will discuss the reasons that why it is said that it should not be done. Though there are some people who would do that, and we might discuss them also, but there are some negative aspects of sales promotion also, and when we will do that, then we might be in a position to talk about whether we should continue sales promotion for a long time or we should not, right? So those aspects we will discuss. Now, one more thing we should actually be recalling while we are trying to understand sales promotion is augmentation. Can you recall augmentation from a marketing discussion that we have done in, say, second semester? What is augmentation? Yes. So something which you are providing extra to the consumer, which he was not expecting, and he is surprised now by looking at the augmentation, right? Now many people would tend to confuse or maybe relate the sales promotion with augmentation, because in sales promotion also you say that you are given 20% extra. So this is also something which the consumer was not expecting, and he has something got free of cost. In augmentation also, you give something to the consumer which he is not expecting and he is not paying for it also. So should we confuse augmentation and sales promotion? We should actually keep these two things separate from each other. Now augmentation can have varied objectives, whereas sales promotion has only one objective, that is to increase the immediate sales. Augmentation can be done to increase the favorable image in the mind of the consumers, whereas sales promotion would primarily deal with increasing the sales, right? Augmentation might be running with objective of you know, generating the affection between a brand and a consumer, whereas the sales promotion would primarily be for increasing the sales. So this is something that you have to not confuse between these two terms, right? And this has to be very crystal clear to all of us. When we are discussing sales promotion, we would be talking of these 2 points in a major way, and all the tools of sales promotion would somehow, somewhere be touching on to these two aspects. And these two aspects are extra incentive, and it is an acceleration tool. So extra incentive, you understand that it is something which is given to you extra. So you are a consumer, right? You might be a retailer, you might be a distributor, so you are given something extra. and that is something which becomes the heart of sales promotion. Acceleration tool, so acceleration takes place and something is accelerated, and what that something is sales, right? So this actually becomes the core aspects of sales promotion. If you would look at the types of sales promotion, what can we do, what can we not do using sales promotion, then we can actually talk of two broad categories of sales promotion. Now, one is consumer oriented sales promotion, and another can be trade oriented sales promotion. Now, you know and you understand by this time that your consumer oriented sales promotion uh, basically will deal with consumer marketing, and your trade oriented sales promotion would basically deals with industrial marketing, and we know the difference between a consumer marketing and a industrial marketing. So consumer marketing invariably we're talking of when you are talking to the end consumer, right, and when you are trying to fulfill their needs, when you are providing them solutions. So them here are ultimate consumers who consumes the product. For industrial things can be that they might not be the end consumer of it, they might be using it in some other product, they are not the end consumers, they will use this thing which you are supplying to them in the fabrication or in assembly of something else, and that actually will then be resulting into a final product which will then be further sold to an end consumer, right? So we can talk of sales promotion at both the ends, so we can talk of consumer and we can talk of industrial consumer, right? So let us talk of what could be the various tools, what could be the various activities which we could potentially exercise under the banner of sales promotion for consumers and for industrial consumers also. So let us talk of first for the consumers, and that is termed as consumer oriented sales promotion. These are the various methods which you would have also heard these terms, and these terms are sampling, couponing, contest, sweepstakes, refunds, bonus pack, price of frequency programs. You would have heard these terms, and we will be spending some time on all of them. Just a very quick recap of, you know what is sampling. Sampling is about giving the free samples to the consumer so that they can experience it. Couponing is you have a coupon, you redeem it, and we will talk on the coupons also. Contest is what, wherein you are participating into a game, and that game is a contest. Because why that is a contest? Because it is using your skills. So you will be asked a question and you will be giving answer to this question. If you win, then you are winning it and you will be given a prize, right? So that is your contest. Now sweepstake is what? Now it is a contest only, but in this your skill is not required. So this is something which is a gamble. You understand gamble? So you gamble, there is no skill required, and if you have luck you will get it, if you don't have luck you will not get it. And in contest you are actually using your skills. The only difference between contest and sweepstakes is contest is using your skills and sweepstake is not doing that, it is pure by luck and pure by chance. Refunds, you know, you are getting something back in terms of money. Bonus packs, you are getting something extra, 20% extra, 10% extra. Price of, you know, the discounts on price. And the frequency programs like loyalty programs, right? So we will talk all of them in detail. In trade oriented sales promotion we might talk of dealers contest. Dealers are also offered some contest in which they can participate and they can win, and in the end as a result of their winning they will be getting some benefits. Trade allowances, people would be given special discounts who are in the trade business, and using that they can actually push the product or brand of a certain manufacturer. Point of purchase displays, I hope we have talked about this. This is fondly called as POP, point of purchase. There is one more thing which is called as point of display, POD also, but there is very fine line difference between these two. Point of purchase displays are those displays which are used to promote any brand or product at the place where the purchase is taking place. So when you would walk into a outlet, you would see some posters are being pasted, right? So these posters are pasted at the spot where the consumer is making the purchase, and those things are called as point of purchase displays. So the people are given it free of cost many a times. Now just to give a very quick example of it, you would have gone into some Kirana stores and then you would have found those fridges of Pepsi and Coke placed at the place where you're purchasing the thing. So these are kind of point of purchase displays. Sales training programs, they are given training so that they can do better, and it is at the cost of the company only. Trade shows they can do. So classic example of trade show is something that happens every year in Delhi, India International Trade Fair. right? So there they can display, they showcase. Cooperative advertising, wherein the two people come together and they actually do what? They share the cost of advertising, and when they do that, they are actually doing cooperative advertising. Now, since we are talking of IMC, and since we have been talking about the end consumer only, so we will be spending almost all of our time of sales promotion discussion on to consumer oriented sales promotion. But it is just that we know, and we should know, that what is trade oriented sales promotion. That is why we have also covered these things also, right? So let us start from consumer oriented sales promotion and the techniques which are mentioned in this slide. Before that, let us talk of where we are coming from. The growth of sales promotion. We know it's been there for a long time, right? Giving something, giving an incentive to anyone so that things can happen. I mean, it is an old practice. So even in barter system days, you could find this thing happening, right? So it is not a new thing that is happening. But in IMC, if you would talk of the role of sales promotion, it has actually increased since last 1 or 2 decades. Specifically after 2000, it has actually grown up like anything. Consumer packaged good firms. So now we have also talked about the trade-oriented sales promotion, but it is said that for the consumers' goods, the sales promotion is a very better technique, and it basically deals with consumer oriented sales promotions only. So in trade oriented sales promotion, you do not talk of say price discounts and all. It is the negotiations that take place, right? uh, Very important thing, it is said that the sales promotion, the money which is spent on it has not only increased, but the budget has been allocated separately for the sales promotion. So which means the importance of sales promotion has increased over the period of time. And there are reasons that why we are spending more on sales promotion and why people are relying onto the sales promotion. Some of these reasons are, uh, now, for example, we know that we will touch upon to this point that it contributes little to brand equity and might also devalues the brand. So we will had a larger discussion on this. But some of the reasons that why the sales promotion has increased over the time is this: that people might love brands, but they might not, willing to take a chance, and sales promotion gives that chance of using the brands. Now maybe if you're given a sample, you would have never ever experienced it if this would not have been given as a free sample to you. It is just that it is given to you, so that is why you are using it, and as a result of your using it, you realize it is such a good thing, and then the experience makes you to repurchase that thing. So people might love the brands, but they may not purchase it, and sales promotion gives them a chance to experience the product and to use the product, and that might result into repeat purchase. And marketers understand it. Promotion industry has matured over the past decade, and not only over the past decade, but if you look at since the opening of our economy in 90s, and to be very specific, after 2000 when the internet boom has taken place, the promotions has matured, and the people do not want to be scapegoat to all the promotion activities that the people would do. But sales promotion is that wherein the consumer is actually given a practical reason of getting involved into a purchase, which is not there in any of the other promotional tools. Now, for example, in advertising, why would people watch advertising? They would not watch it. They are resistant to advertising, and we have seen it. And in consumer behavior also, we have discussed it in detail, that how people would not be interested and they will block themselves for the message that the marketer is giving them. At the other hand, in sales promotion, people are coming to you because you are offering discounts, and they are coming to you and they are asking for that discount. And hence the promotions are getting maturity, and the sales promotion is actually something which is able to break that clutter, right? One more important thing about sales promotion is it gives you immediate results. So advertising is termed as an investment. It is not termed as an investment which gives you immediate returns. Whereas sales promotion will give you immediate returns. So if you are giving discounts onto the price, if you are giving a bonus pack, the immediate returns will come on, right? So people would immediately react to it, and hence it is one of the most important things. We have discussed it so many times while we were discussing the implementation of the creative ideas and the development of those creative ideas. We have talked about that the how agencies are constantly under pressure of giving results of the money that they are proposing to spend on a brand, and if they are under constant pressure, then they are asked the ROI of the money that they are spending on. So if they are being asked on the ROI, then definitely they will try to have the component sales promotion to their entire IMC schedule, so that actually it gives them something which can be a good way and an easy way and a plain way of saying that this is something that we have got as a return to investment, and hence because it is giving you immediate returns. Growing power of retailers is also a very important reason for increasing the usage of sales promotion. We have known and we have discussed so many times, I don't know how many times, but the power of retailers can sell you the things which you never had in your mind. They enjoy the power, right? And because of this power, if the retailers can be given a chance of selling a specific product, then he will sell it. So retailer will actually be trying to clean out the stocks of those products for which he has a larger margin, and the larger margin when he's getting it is actually kind of a sales promotion activity, right? So the power of retailers is actually and can be used by sales promotion also. People are no more becoming brand loyal, and that is another reason that people should try out these products, because these are actually saving you money in the end. This is another reason. Consumers are liking it because they are saving money, and that is why they would like it. Brand proliferation means that today we are not living in a time when you only had few choices. You are living in a time when you have hundreds of options available to you, and in such times when the hundreds of options are available to you, the proliferation of brands, which means the availability of brands, has become so huge. How you make your brand to sell, and when you give an additional reason to the consumer to purchase your brand, unless then the people are not interested in you. So brand proliferation, the availability of brands to a massive scale, has become also one of the strong and robust reasons which has actually improved the exercising of sales promotional activities across the globe. People are also getting accountable now. That points can be taken back to the previous point that we have already talked about, which is immediate results. When the people are held accountable for certain things, then the sales promotion actually becomes a safe bet, because you are accountable for the money that you're spending in promotions. You are giving a return to it, right? So accountability is another important thing. To break the competition, sales promotion is a great deal, because when you are sitting in a situation wherein everyone is at the same level, if you can give consumer a reason to save his money, he will come to you, and by that you can actually overarch the competitive brands. But then there are some problems also with it, and those problems we can discuss, and we will discuss when we will be talking of sales promotion in details. People also do account specific marketing. I hope you would recall what are accounts. In agencies, we have discussed it. In creative implementation, in creative planning and development, we have discussed it. Account किसे कहते हैं? What is account? Suppose you are JWT. Suppose you are Sachi and Sachi. So you are an agency. So what is account in agency term? Come again? हाँ. Yes. So, for example, if someone is working for Vodafone is an account, right? तो ये अकाउंट स्पेसिफिक मार्केटिंग करने के लिए भी आपका सेल्स प्रमोशन एक बहुत ही बढ़िया तरीका है. We have discussed on it. In breaking the clutter, we have already discussed how sales promotion helps in breaking the clutter. Now, this is something that we were talking of it in trade-oriented sales promotion also. Account specific marketing also, manufacturers collaborates with retailers to create customized promotion, and this is something I hope you would know it, that these fridges or these cooling houses are not purchased by the retailers at the market prices. There are times when these are given absolutely free of cost, and there are times when they are given at a highly discounted rates, right? So this is also something which comes under sales promotion. We are promoting it, and it is also contributing to the point of purchase displays, because people would look at it and people would see to it. Now comes the important aspects which we have been talking about in the previous slides. Now we know that the sales promotion is such a good thing. We know that the sales promotion increases the sales immediately. We know that it helps the agencies to address that question of the ROI, what is the return on my investment. We know that the consumers like it. We know that it helps in breaking the clutter. We know that in the area or in the era of brand proliferation, sales promotion can actually break the deal. But the point is that should we actually do it, and can there be some negatives of sales promotion? Now, for example, just take this price off. You say that the discounted price is offered for a certain product. Will consumer take it positively, or can there be some negative effects of it? So you are going into a mall, you find that you are buying a Bajaj almonds drop oil, hair oil, and you find that along with it, Clinic Plus hair shampoo is given free to you, right? So is it impacting the image of Clinic Plus in your mind? Are you getting the question? Is will you feel like that the Clinic Plus, why is it coming free? Uh, is there some problems with Clinic Plus? Is Clinic Plus not selling in the market that they have to resort to such activities? These questions comes into people's mind, and when we are asking these questions, then these questions are posing a serious threat to the success of sales promotions, and to it gives a serious thought also to the manufacturers and the agencies both, that to what extent should we exercise the activities of sales promotion. Now, some of the things which has been quoted here on this slide, and it can be many more. People say that it takes a lifetime to build a brand, right? So brands are not built overnight. They are not built in a fortnight. They are not built monthly, and they are not built biannually, and they are not built in a year. It takes decades to build a brand. Now, once you have taken all that extra pain of getting your product into the category of brand, then people have actually established it, and they have argued that if a established brand is going through the sales promotion activities, it might end up in devaluing the brand in the minds of the people. And this is what this first line says, that the sales promotion comes at the expense of brand equity. Now, what is brand equity? If you would have heard this term, brand equity was popularized and propounded by Kevin L. Keller somewhere in 1993, and he explained, and the brand equity is popularly defined as the positive differential impact that comes to your mind about the brand when you are started thinking about it. So दूसरे शब्दों में अगर मैं बताऊँ, जब भी आप किसी ब्रांड के बारे में सोचते हैं तो उस ब्रांड के बारे में जो पॉजिटिव इमेज आपके दिमाग में आती है वो ब्रांड इक्विटी है, राइट? द पॉजिटिव things which comes to your mind by the knowledge of a brand name is brand equity. Now, what if your brand equity is at stake by sales promotions? क्या brand equity stake पे हो सकती है? Can sales promotion negatively hampers your brand? And people have said that it can, right? So when you have been talking to the people for last 100 years, then Coca-Cola has been able to find place in the top 100 global brands. And now, if Coca-Cola started devaluing their brand by means of sales promotion, should it be done or should it not be done? Now, this is a serious question. So, one more very important thing which actually relates to the negative aspects of brand, which is every rupee that goes into promotion, and this is an important line, other than advertising, that devalues the brand, right? That devalues the brand. Now, not necessarily, but let us take this line in context of sales promotion, right? Whether the money spent on sales promotion, you are doing it so that you can increase the sales. Sales might increase in the short term, and that is the objective of sales promotion. Sales promotion is not carried out to increase the sales for longer duration. It is for the short duration. For short duration, you might end up in increasing the sales, but then if it actually hampers the brand, should you do it or should you not do it? Second question. Now, third question, which is again very important one, is sales promotion is destruction of brand as it makes consumer to buy it for price. Now, what does this line mean? What does this line mean? Now, this is an important line. If you can explain this, I will be very happy. What is this?
सर मेनली जैसे ही प्राइस ओवर टाइम होता है
Hmm.
तो वो प्राइस को देख के परचेज करते हैं.
Actually, and you know why we are discussing this is because it is said that the people buy brands, and they buy brands in the sense that they give more weightage to the brand over and above the price of it. And that is why perhaps you can say that the people would spend 50 lakhs on a BMW, and that is why you would say that the people can spend 15,000 on Adidas shoe. So they are ready to pay 15,000 for what? For brand. and which means that they are giving more leverage, and which means they are giving more importance to brand over and above the price of it. Here, what happens in sales promotion is you are an established brand. People are buying you not because of your price, but people are buying you because if you are a brand. Now, what is happening here is people are not buying you for brand, they are buying you for price. अब वो तो पैसे के लिए, अब 15,000 का जूता अगर वो 1,000 के प्राइस डिस्काउंट पे आप उसे खरीदवा रहे हैं तो आप इनवेरिएबली यू आर टीचिंग द पीपल दैट प्राइस इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट देन ब्रांड, right? And this is something which is absolutely against the ideology of branding. Now, unfortunately, we have not done the brands and branding or the brand management as a course of your MBA program, but it actually goes against. Now, brand is something which is sitting at a position where it can actually invite the purchase without consideration of price, and the price becomes the secondary thing, brand becomes the primary thing. So if you are getting it back to the point wherein the people start giving more emphasis to price rather than brand, I think then it actually is something which proves it to you that you are devaluing your brand to a greater extent, right? So this is something which the sales promotion can do to you, and it is not that this is just written what people have talked about it, they've researched about it, the literature talks about it, your text talks about it, and even the gurus, even the literaturists, even the practitioners would agree that too much of sales promotion might end up in devaluing and degrading the brands. And once you do that, I think you don't know where will it land you. So this is something which is sales promotion. So what is the bottom line? Now, bottom line is that one has to be very careful and super careful while exercising the activities of sales promotion. So you just do not blindly give discounts. You might increase the sales and your profits overall may not be affected. Now, why I'm saying so is because suppose your price is 200 rupees, and in 200 rupees you are saving 100 rupees, and you are able to sell 5 units. So, which means you are ending up in saving 500 rupees. If you have decreased your price to 100 rupees, now you are actually saving, suppose, a smaller amount. Now you are saving a smaller amount, but your sales will increase. So in the end, you might, in this context also, end up in saving 500 rupees only. So the amount of profit that you are generating in both the cases is same, but the brands is getting devalued, right? So this is another thing. People have the other aspects of it also, because people, and there are many people who would argue very strongly for it and would say that if you are saving 500 rupees by selling 5 units, and if you are saving 500 rupees by selling 10 units, so people would say you should be selling 10 units. And why so? Because you are actually reaching to more number of consumers, you are increasing the penetration into the market. You should do it, but not the expense of brand, not the expense of brand equity, not the expense of that image of the brand that someone has in their mind. So these are some very confusing questions, and they're very optimistic also. Optimistic in the sense that people are in a situation of flux because they have to increase the sales, and hence optimism is there by the virtue of its definition, which is sales promotion. But if it actually gets you in the trouble as far as brand is concerned, then you have to be very careful about it. So sales promotion has to be has to be looked at very carefully, right? Because it is something which can land you in trouble as far as your brand is concerned. Now, if you would talk of sales promotion, then objectives of sales promotion we have already known, and this is something which and how the sales promotion is executed, and this is what the sales promotion can do to you. It can actually obtain the trial, and it can actually make the people to repurchase the product, and it can be termed as one of the objectives. It can increase the consumption of an established brand, and we know that because it is increasing the sales, so ultimately it is getting into the increasing the consumption also. It is increasing the brand equity. If people are using it, if they are liking it, then the people would actually have the positive image in their mind. But we have also discussed the other side of it, and people can actually give a chance for the current customers to be sticking to the brand. So there can be a number of advantages which sales promotion can have, and a number of objectives for which it can be run. But we also have to look at the negative aspects of it. So with this background, let us try to look at those activities of sales promotion that we were looking at in the beginning of the slide. So let us start off with sampling. Sampling, as you would all know, is about giving some quantity of product for no cost so that the people can try it. And sampling as the activity, and by now you would agree to the point that sampling is done most of the times for a new product, right? So when you have come up in the market for a new product, then you want people to try it. How and what reason will you give the consumers to try it? If they are getting it in free, then obviously they have larger chances of trying it. So sampling should be done for a new product. It actually is something in which some quantity of the product is given to the consumer for no cost, and so that they can try it. And if your product is good, then it can actually result into repurchase. Now, when it works best, now you cannot expect sampling to be run for a high involvement product. You cannot expect BMW to be giving BMW cars as sample. You cannot do that. Now, it is better for the small denominations, right? And this is something which is written in the first point, and that is that the products, when they are of relatively low value, sampling makes sense because it is not costing you much. So if you are doing it for a high involvement product, for a high cost product, or for an expensive product, it might not, something which can help you much, and it actually will degrade your profits. Now, it should be done when the products are divisible and can be broken into small sizes that can reflect the product's features and benefits. So, shampoo, you can get it into a very, very small size, and hence it makes sense. You can give the pouches of shampoos to the people so that they can try it. Very, very important thing about sampling, it should be done for such products for which the purchase cycle is small. सो परचेज साइकिल स्मॉल होने का मतलब क्या है कि the time when you will use it again. So suppose you have purchased it on today, which is 9th of April, and you are repurchasing this product on 16th of April. So purchase cycle is around 7 days. So this is a small purchase cycle. For such type of samplings make sense. And car, you cannot do that because in an entire lifetime maybe one will end up in consuming only 3 to 4 cars. So for them the sampling does not make sense. So the repurchase cycle, if it is short, then it is better for the sampling to be taking place, right? So this is these are the
So,
context in which the sampling should be carried out. Yes.
जैसे हम बात करते हैं फोर्ड के शेड्यूल ड्राइव की, और जैसे
Hmm.
ये जो हाईली जो कॉस्टली जो
Hmm.
गाड़ी होती है, जो किसी मतलब नेता हो या किसी भी बड़े पर्सन को वैसे
Hmm.
चलाने के लिए देती है, तो उनको भी इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं।
You are confusing two things. Now, for example, if you would recall, I hope I have discussed with you some time back that Jeep, which is a brand name in the car industry, has a product called Jeep Grand Cherokee, and the rate of that product, or the price or costing of that product, is above 1 crore rupees. Saif Ali Khan was driving this car on Mumbai roads. He has driven it for many months, and it came in media after some time when the people realized that the car does not belong to him. The Jeep has given it to him so that he can ride it free of cost. Now, what we are trying to understand here, if you are keeping it in sales promotion, no, this is not sales promotion, this is a pure promotion, this is publicity. What you are doing is that you are taking the product back and you are giving it to Saif Ali Khan, not to Deepak and Ajay. Why is that? We are not influencers, right? People when looking at Saif Ali Khan, they might get influenced. People when looking at me and you might not get influenced. So someone who is having the kind of image that can actually influence the behavior of the consumer, someone who is in celebrity, can be given this product. But it is not, people might give it free of cost also. People might give it for the entire life also. Now, for example, Toyota has given Fortuner to Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and they are not taking it back. And it is the smallest car that Mahendra Singh Dhoni has, right? So he has the bigger car than that. So Fortune is not taking it back. But the point is that he is in a situation wherein he can influence the behavior of lot many people. Sampling is not for celebrities; it is for end consumers. And when Toyota is giving it to MS Dhoni is not his end consumer. MS Dhoni is a celebrity which they are using to popularize their brand, and hence that will not come under sales promotion, right? So sales promotion is for the general public to experience the product. So when I'm getting a shampoo pouch, I'm a general man. I can experience it. You know what? There were these clippings into the news which were making rounds that the Fortuner was given to Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Mahendra Singh Dhoni is not riding it because it is the smallest car that he has. Whenever he would go to his home, he would ride the bigger cars. So maybe the purpose for which the Fortuner was given to him is not being sold, right? But the point is, he is not the consumer of Fortuner. He is only given this product so that he can popularize it. The publicity can be. So when the people would see Mahendra Singh Dhoni, which car he uses Fortuner, right? So the influencers given a product, that is publicity. When you and I, the common people, given the products, now that is sales promotion because they want us to use it, right? If you would go back to the definition of sales promotion, it was actually saying that to influence the purchase behavior of either a consumer or a retailer or a distributor. So Mahendra Singh Dhoni is none of them, right? He is not in fact their consumer. So that is how we look at the general people when they are given the pieces. That would actually come under sales promotion, right? Okay. Now what could be the various methods of sales promotion? And these could be the various methods. Door to door, you can give the sample. You can send them by mail. In store also, you can give sampling. On package, sampling also can be given. On package sampling is when a while ago I was discussing with you that this almond hair care is clubbed with Clinic Plus. Now that is on package. So packaging, the bundle packaging has been done, and that is something when you are giving a free sample, and that is something which is your sampling distribution. Now many a times when we were talking of the negative effect of sales promotion on the brands, now suppose if you are getting this packaged thing, which is say Bajaj Care and the Clinic Plus being bundled together, uh, maybe the Hindustan Unilever, who is parent company of Clinic Plus, would have never known it that their product is being bundled with some other product and is being sold into the market. End of the day, what is happening now? Big Bazaar is doing it so that the sales from Big Bazaar can increase, but they are not interested in whether they are devaluing the Clinic Plus as a brand or not. Are you getting the point? So that is where the retailer powers also comes into picture, right? So this is how you have to solve it. So if people are actually coming to you and they are buying you by themselves, now that is a wonderful thing, and that is why we say the sales promotion is a very careful exercise. People are also using internet to distribute the free samples. I do not know whether you have come across any site or not, but if you go to certain places, even the Facebook also, you will find some ads, and you can type onto internet wherein you can register yourself. In Western countries, it has become a very established phenomenon, wherein you can register yourself and you can get the free samples of the product, and then you can give your feedback to the people. The people here are manufacturers, and hence the free samples are being given to you, right? So like this, if you are liking the page of this company onto the Facebook, then they'll be giving you free samples, right? So this is how the internet can also be used to provide the free samples, and these are the methods, right? Now, one very important thing. Now we are doing sampling. We are talking about sampling. Now let us look at this side of it also. Uh, what happens through sampling is that the consumer experience the brand directly, right? So when you are giving this to consumer free of cost, he is experiencing it, and we have already discussed it. Maybe that if you would not have done this sampling procedure, people would have never tried it. So good thing sampling is that actually in the end people get to try the product. Now the product and features, there can be such products whose products features and benefits can be very difficult to communicate through advertising. Now, for example, perfumes, right? Can the real utility of perfume be told to consumer by advertising? No, because people would never come to know the aroma of it, right? And this is something which is written in the end. Aspect like aroma can never be experienced through advertising. So experiential based products, the products which are so close to the people's heart, these type of products can take the benefit of sampling, because the primarily sampling is done for new products. That's what we have done, and its main objective can be to make the consumer experience the product and to do the consumption, and the consumption can never be done using advertising or other promotion tools. So that is something which actually makes sampling as to be a very very important thing. Now let us come on to couponing, which is the second tool of sales promotion. Couponing, as you would all know, are the activities in which the purchaser of any product is given a coupon which he can redeem, and in this coupon there can be anything which the marketer is running it. Now for example, he can get the cashback, for example he can get any other surprises, he can get a product free with it, so it can be anything. So Diwali time, the festive time in India, you would see that a lot of people, a lot of marketers comes up with couponing. They would say ki, purchase this, we will give you a coupon, you scratch it and you win, right? So this is the couponing thing. Now, today we look at the couponings as a very regular exercise. And why do we look at couponing as a regular exercise? Is because it is not new. People are accustomed to it. People have been using it since ages. And in fact, if you would look at all the tools of sales promotion, it should not be surprise to us that the couponing is considered as the oldest tool of sales promotion, right? And it is being used by virtually all manufacturers of the fast moving consumer goods. So FMCG people are actually using the couponings like anything. If you would go to coupons, the traces in history are taken back till 1895 when the people have commercially used coupons. So it is not a new exercise. So it's been more than 100 years that the coupons are in use, right? And that is why it is termed as the coupon is the oldest form or the tool of sales promotion which is existing under the all the tools available under sales promotion. Coupons can be in this shape. Uh, Let us talk of the advantages and disadvantages of it. Why should you do it? When you will talk of the good parts of couponing, then you know that it appeals to price sensitive consumers. So the people who are price sensitive might purchase something because you are getting in return also something. So this is something which is good point about couponing. It can offer a price break without retailers' cooperation. Very, very important point. Now you need not to use retailer if you are using coupons. Now, very important point. So when we were doing the sales promotion and when we were understanding that the retailers has power. Now, if you just let the consumers know that you by purchasing this product will end up in getting say a coupon, you might be giving a reason to the consumers to purchase it by name, and hence the retailer, when someone is asking for this thing, the retailer has to give it. So you are bypassing the retailer, which is a very, very important thing. It is and considered as a very effective way of inducing the new products and trials. So with sampling, this can also be used for the new products and can be a very good way to defend the market share and encourage purchase. So these could be the various advantages of it. To talk of the negative points of it, and these negative points are worth mentioning, they're very important to understand. It is difficult to determine how many consumers will use coupon and why, so the prediction of it is very less. And important, very, very important point, coupons are often used by loyal consumers who may purchase anyway. Very, very important. So the people who would have purchased it without this coupon also, they are also using the coupons. And this is not only that you are actually having an opportunity loss in terms of sales, but for these people you are also, if you go back to our previous discussion that the sales promotion can have negative influence also. So the consumer who has been using Pepsodent since last 20 years, and if he gets a coupon of Pepsodent, he would have used Pepsodent anyway. And if he gets that coupon, maybe if you would go back and relate it to the previous discussion wherein we've said that the couponing, or for that matter any other tools of sales promotion, can have a negative influence on the brand image. So this gentleman who has been using Pepsodent since last 20 years might have some thought coming and originating in his mind that why Pepsodent would need couponing. Is there something wrong with it? And maybe he can have a thought coming in his mind. Now, a very important point, and we will do a case around it also, that couponing cost is escalating, though the technology has come up as a lifesaver, and redemption rates are also very less, and the cost is very high, and people also end up in misrepresenting the facts, and the people who should actually be using the coupons may not be using it in fact, and the other people who and for whom the couponing was not done, they might be using it. So these are some disadvantages or the bad things about couponing as an exercise. Now I do not know whether I've shared this story with you or not. Do you recall this story? Sprite खोलेगा तो बोलेगा campaign, wherein we have done a promotion using the coupons. And this would actually tells us that how couponing is being used till date, and how it is becoming beneficial, and how the technology is actually saving the lot of cost from the marketer's perspective. Now I'm taking you back to 2007 and 8, wherein this Sprite, which is the Coke's brand, whenever the summers comes, every summer they do promotional exercises, be it Sprite, be it Coke, or be it any of the brand of Coca-Cola or Pepsi, so that to increase the sales, so that to break the competition, and the greater competition to them is only Pepsi. So 2008 summers were not the different summers. So in those summers also they were thinking of running a campaign. Now, what happened generally with these brands is that they would generally be running this contest, and not contest, they will be giving coupons to the consumers. And general practice for them was to give it on the back side of the cap of the bottle, right? So you open the cap, and on the inside of cap you will get a coupon, and then that coupon would be given to the retailer, and then the retailer would either give you your price or your winning, whatever you are winning, straight away, or he would say that I will send it to the company, and then company will then give it to me, then I will give it to you. So this used to be the general practice. So if you would look at the logistics would be like a consumer purchasing a bottle of Sprite. He is opening the cap, he is looking at the bottom of it, he is depositing it to the retailer. So someone from the company would come and would collect this thing and would deposit it to the company, and then the company would release the funds or the whatever prizes or the gifts to the retailers, and the retailers would then do that. So this actually was a very hefty process, and the disadvantages of couponing that we were looking at in previous slide would actually, all of them can be imagined for this couponing system. Managing manpower is actually invested, and you will not believe that the companies like Coca-Cola would also have to have 3 or 4 people assigned to the calls, to the call center which they formulated for this type of things only. So suppose you have got a coupon, you have not got something, you can directly call into that number for the clarification. So the kind of cost involved was huge, and it would take multiple days maybe for the consumers to realize the benefit. So this used to be the scenario. Now, this is something that we have already talked about, that the consumer would mail back, the selection of dealer would take place, the physical delivery of gifts would happen, the customer support people would to be obligated, and all those things would happen. This would end up in increasing the cost. Now, very very important line, if you can understand this, you will get the sense of it. If the giveaways are of low value, the cost of running the promotion outruns the cost of promotion itself. Now, what does this line mean? इस लाइन का मतलब क्या है? If you can understand this, this means, now suppose 10 rupees uh, recharge you are giving to anyone who is drinking a Sprite bottle. So maybe 5 rupees, maybe 10 rupees, maybe 20 rupees. Now these are giveaways, right? These are called as giveaways. Now these giveaways are of low value, right? Now imagine, for that one cap of bottle, you have to deposit to retailer. Now someone from the company side would collect this cap, would give it back to the company. Company will store it, will analyze it, would release the funds, would give it back to retailers. The physical things would happen, and in those days there used to be scratch cards by which you would recharge your phones. And the retailer would give you this recharge pin, and you will recharge it. Now this is being done only for 10 rupees. Imagine, you just have to think about it. For 10 rupees, what is the cost that you have inculcated into it? 10 rupees benefit the consumer is getting, you may be inculcating say 50 rupees onto that. So this is something which is written. If the giveaways are of low value, then the cost of running promotion outruns the cost of promotion itself. So the entire budget of this promotion can be say 1 crore, and because of this physical delivery, the collection of the things, and then the material handling and the manpower assigned to it, and the physical delivery of goods and handling of goods, and the gifts getting misplaced and all that, it might say that you are incurring 1 crore and say 50 lakh rupees. So your promotional budget is overpowered because of this thing, right? So this is something where the problem arises, and that is where the idea came. And the idea was that if uh, the entire logistics, the physical logistics can be eliminated, right? And if the consumers at the time when they're consuming the product can also get their price instantly, instant gratification. And that is where we as a company have pitched to Coke, and we said that OxyCash with this technology can do it. Now, what was OxyCash and Oxygen? they were a company which has a POS machine. You would have also seen it if you use prepaid mobile phones. You would have gone to these prepaid retailers and you would have asked them that please recharge my phone with 50 rupees. And earlier what would happen is that they would have ideas spin differently, they would have Airtel spin differently, they would have BSNL spin differently, but now there is a machine and they will type your number and then the recharge would happen electronically and you will get a message that your phone is recharged. Now that machine is of Oxygen. Now, Oxygen machine, because of its servers, is capable of identifying the operator of any number. So, if you are giving me your number, so the machine would be able to tell you whether it is with Vodafone, Idea, or whatever. This is not the case, but this is also able to identify the place, the geographic of that number, which means if it is Idea Delhi, or if it is Idea Haryana, or if it is Idea Rajasthan. So, third thing is that it is also able to identify whether it is a prepaid or a postpaid number, right? So, this old technology we had, so we pitched to Cork and we said that you are incurring so much of cost, the physical cost. Why not you tie up with us? We have technology, and what you can do is you can basically tie up with us, and whatever code that you give behind the cap of the bottle, that code consumer can send to us, and we can instantly give them the price back. So what does it mean is, now suppose you are consuming a Sprite bottle, there is a code. This code is to be sent to a number on Oxygen servers. That number was 9870888888. So the moment you have sent that code, the servers recognize the code. It says that a consumer has got 10 rupees prepaid recharge, right? So now server knows all the necessary things. So it knows 10 rupees recharge is to be given. It knows from which number is this message coming. Idea, Vodafone, Airtel, Delhi, Rajasthan, Bangla, where it will immediately recharge that phone with 10 rupees. Are you getting the point? So there is no material handling. There is nothing in between. And when this was projected to them, they have agreed to it. And then we have run this campaign, which was Sprite Kholega to Bolega campaign. And this is something which would happen that I have already explained to you. You see a unique code number which is behind the cap, and then they can consumer while consuming the product can send this number to this, and OxyCash system identifies the operator and region of the number, and then they send back a recharge pin, and this is something that the consumers would get as a message. They would say, congrats, you won a free MTNL Delhi coupon of rupees 25. Your pin is this. Standard recharge process applies. In those days you have to recharge by yourself. Now automatically it gets recharged. So this is how the campaign was run. And when that happened, now this is a couponing thing that we are running. The technology is enabling us to save all the cost. Coke was happy because they have eliminated entire physical logistics cost. We were happy because we were associating with Coke. We were happy because we were actually getting 5 million responses for this campaign. And you have no idea that we were actually having 5 million active mobile numbers, and this is a huge data. If you would purchase this data from agencies, it would cost you a lot, and we always had this data on our servers and we can use it for our own purposes, right? This is during May and July 2008, and the campaign was run, and this is the benefit that both the parties have got. We as a company have got the visibility because when Coke ran this campaign on televisions and on radios, they have said that our technology partner is Oxygen, so we also get an exposure, right? We've got the database of active users, the 5 million. 5 million means 50 million, 50 lakh. Traffic increase on our websites because people would like to know what is Oxygen, what is OxyCash, and then the monetary benefit that we've got from the Coke, क्योंकि Coke ने भी पैसा दिया ना, उनका इतना पैसा हमने बचाया, so that also we have got, and this is the ad that we have run those days.
अच्छा, क्या मैं मोटी लग रही हूँ? मोटी लग नहीं रही हो, मोटी हो। मोटी कहाँ? मैं नहीं, बॉटल। क्या बॉटल पे कभी बोलती है? स्प्राइट खोलेगा तो बोलेगा, क्योंकि इसके अंदर है 1.5 करोड़ रुपए का फ्री टॉक टाइम और बहुत कुछ। बस ढक्कन के नीचे देखो और कोड 98708888 पे SMS करो। स्प्राइट खोलेगा तो बोलेगा। क्लियर है?
So this is the ad that Coke has run, and we also got the exposure. So what is it that I'm trying to tell you is that the couponing exercise is the oldest form of sales promotion tool which has been used since ages, but with time its cost has increased. but the technology has come as a lifesaver, and today also people run it, but they run it using technology, and it actually increases the sales of the product and people are happy with it. If you are consuming 10 rupees bottle and if you are getting 10 rupees talk time, you are in a win-win situation. The bottle is virtually free to you, right? And the cost is also not that huge, and that is how you can break the competition. So this is how the couponing, the oldest form of sales promotion tool, can be used using technology in a better sense, right? So if you would talk of the types of coupon, they can be of many types. So one can be bounce back coupon. So bounce back coupon is something which can be redeemed during next purchase of the same brand. If you would have purchased to some organized retailers like Reliance Trends, रिलायंस ट्रेंड में अगर आपने कभी परचेज किया हो, सो दे गिव अ कार्ड टू यू, राइट? And that card can be used, the points that are accumulated in this card can be used in the future purchase of it. So when you will repurchase it, then it can be used. Now a very very typical and a classic example which some of you might be using today also, the Reliance Jio, right? So they say if you recharge by 399, so they will give you 8 coupons worth 50 rupees each, vouchers, they call it vouchers. So when next time you will recharge it, you can redeem this coupon. So this is bounce back coupon. So next purchase of the same brand, it can be redeemed, right? So this is also kind of a coupon that people can use. Cross rough coupon is a coupon which can be redeemed on purchase of a different product but from the same company, right? So you can use a coupon generated through any of the product of HUL for the any other product of HUL. So like Big Bazaar, if you would go, they will give you points for any product that you will purchase from Big Bazaar, that those coupons can be used. Instant coupon is consumer can rip it off and redeem it immediately. The example I have shown you in Sprite Kholega to Bolega campaign, you just message it and you redeem it instantly. In-store coupons are those coupons which are distributed through retailers. So when you are buying a television, scratch the coupon. These are physical coupons. So the retailer will give it to you, and whatever you get, the retailer will give it to you, right? So this is something the coupons type. People are doing a lot of experiments with couponing nowadays, and a lot of work is being done to decrease the cost of running a contest using coupons. So but still it is the one of the best and the loved ways of running a sales promotion exercise, right? तो ये था हमारा सैम्पलिंग और कूपन्स के बारे में. वी विल कंटिन्यू इट व्हेन वी विल टॉक इन नेक्स्ट क्लास. थैंक यू वेरी मच.